Okay, with Nottingham Forest getting promoted back to the Premier League after a 23-year absence, who would have thought that would have happened at the start of the season when they were bottom of the Championship at one point? It would be amiss of me not to do a history video on the history of Nottingham Forest, one of the most important clubs in English footballing history, and not because of their success in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. No, 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 no. We have to go back to 1865. The Football Alliance, which was a rival league to the Football League. Yeah, we have to go back to when Queen Victoria is still around. Now, they were formed in 1865, and there's a fun fact about this. They were founded as a multi-sports club, including shinty and baseball, of which they were national champions of baseball at one point as well. And I can look into the history of shinty and baseball in this country in a separate set of videos. So this is a rarity, I think, in the modern day. A lot of people fail to realise that Sheffield Wednesday was founded as a cricket club as well as a football club, and Nottingham Forest was founded as a multi-sports club as well. Very, very important, back in 1865. Now we get to the Football Alliance Football League rivalry. Now, the Football League rejected Nottingham Forest's application to join in 1888. So they joined the rival Football Alliance in 1889. Now, the Football Alliance doesn't last, obviously, and it is absorbed by the Football League in 1892, but not before Nottingham Forest win that final season in 1891-92. That is their first trophy. So they've been a club since 1865. They've been playing in the FA Cup before they joined the Football Alliance and before they joined the Football League, and getting to several semi-finals by this point. And they win their first trophy in 1892, and the league they play in ceases to exist and is absorbed by the Football League. The Football League has just more financial power. The clubs are wealthier, and they pull the Football Alliance clubs in there. There's some big clubs in there that we will do videos on in due course. Sheffield Wednesday as well. And we go back to the formation in 1865, and this is the debate. Is Notts County older? Is Sheffield Wednesday older? Sheffield United, Stoke City, Nottingham Forest? Because it was founded as a multi-sports club, it is not a true football club until it enters the Football League technically, because they are playing in the Shinty League, and they are playing baseball, and they are winning other competitions and other sports. Then they start focusing on football. Now, after they joined the Football League, they win the FA Cup shortly after joining the Football League in 1898. So 6 years after joining the Football League, they win their first major trophy as a Football League club. Then it's a very long wait until the late 50s for their second FA Cup in the 1958-59 season, and that's the only two FA Cups they've won, which is a surprise for me doing the research. I thought they had won more. They hadn't. So only two FA Cups. That was the one trophy that Brian Clough, as manager, with Nottingham Forest, of the domestic and European trophies that you could compete for, apart from the old UEFA Cup, he did not win. He could never win the FA Cup with Nottingham Forest, and that's been a massive Achilles heel for Nottingham Forest, is getting to FA Cup finals and semi-finals and not winning them. Then the Brian Clough era starts in the late 70s, and this is where the fortunes of a middling, mid-table second division club change to a title contender and a European Cup winner in the top division, in Division 1 in English football. So we are predating the Premier League, which didn't come until 1992. Their fortunes change, and most of their silverware that they obtain comes under Brian Clough. Only 3 major trophies won by the club came before Brian Clough was manager, and no major trophies since. Let that sink in. That is how important Brian Clough is as manager to this football club, and how important that era is to this football club until he leaves in 1993. So, the trophies under Brian Clough and the trophies they win. In the 77-78, they win the old Division 1 title, which would now be the Premier League, had they, the Premier League been around then, the old Division 1. In the same season, this is their first season they're in Division 1, under Brian Clough, because they're promoted the season before from the old Division 2. They win the League Cup, which then they back up after the 77-78 season, and they do it in the following season, the 78-79 season, which is very hard to do at the time. They then win the League Cup again in 88-89, the year I'm born, although before I'm born, and they back that up again, the back-to-back winning the League Cup in 89-90. So the last time they won a trophy in 1990, I was 6 months old. So there we go. So they've got a good period in a decade in the League Cup. They win it. There were 12 years in the League Cup. They win it 4 times. So a third of the League Cups in that period they win. So that's a bit of dominance in a competition. They win the Charity Shield in 1978. Fair enough. This is where they have a purple patch in Europe as well. They win the European Cup famously against Malmo in 78-79 and then back it up against a very good Hamburg side in 79-80. This Hamburg side 2 years later would go on to win the trophy after Aston Villa win it the following season. And in 79 they also win the European Super Cup. They had a purple patch in Europe and they had a purple patch in the League Cup. But after 1990, so just before the Premier League era, the winning stops. Now, Brian Clough was only manager for one season in the Premier League era. That was the 92-93 season. He then moves on. Since they've been relegated out of the Premier League, and I'm going to say this and stress this, they've had 20 managers in 23 years. That's almost a manager a season. So there's been a managerial merry-go-round at the City Ground. But now let's have a look at some fun facts. I've already mentioned they applied to join the Football League in 1888. And were rejected and joined the Football Alliance in 1889 before joining the Football League when the Football Alliance was absorbed in 1892. As I said, they were founded as a multi-sport club where they also were very proficient in shinty, which is sort of a form of field hockey and ice hockey and lacrosse, and baseball. And they were national baseball champions the year they joined the Football League in 1892. And there were other sports they played as well. So when I did the history video on Sheffield Wednesday, they also used to play cricket. So that's very interesting. They had only spent 5 seasons in the third tier of English football since their admission to the Football League. They have never been lower than what is now League One, the old Division 3. They're also the first club to win the European Cup, otherwise known as the Champions League these days, and also play in the third tier subsequent to winning that trophy with the relegations after the Premier League era. So, since they've been out of the Premier League, they've played 5 seasons in the third tier. That's the lowest Nottingham Forest got. That is their low point. And the reason why Arsenal play in red, when Arsenal, the Woolwich Arsenal were formed before they moved to Highbury, their first season they didn't have a kit, and Nottingham Forest loaned them some kit from the previous season because they slightly altered their design, which is why Arsenal play with a red and white sleeve, white sleeves with a red core. They also helped Brighton and Hove Albion with money to build their first stadium, and they also donated jerseys to Everton, which is very, very interesting because Liverpool play in red but Everton play in blue. But here's a fun fact. The original tenants of Anfield were not Liverpool, it was Everton, and there's a reason for that as well. And that's partly to do with Nottingham Forest. They also helped some other clubs. Notts County also did the same thing. Their biggest city rivals, and their biggest rivals, Notts County. The reason why Juventus play in black and white stripes is because of Notts County, and they also donated their old kit to Notts County when they changed their stripe design from Notts County to Juventus. So clubs at the time actually helped each other out. Not so much these days. And as I said, all but 3 of the major trophies they have won were won with Brian Clough as manager. So, very interesting history. I didn't want to bore you all to death with all the boring facts. I could have gone into the biggest wins, the biggest defeats, top goal scorer, most appearances. We could be here all day because the history of the club goes back to 1865. But I am surprised that they've only, if you count the Football Alliance win, and that was a league as well, and that was a rival league to the Football League, they've only won 12 major trophies. And before Brian Clough, only 3 trophies. So under Brian Clough, they won 9 pieces of major silverware that is recognised by UEFA for the coefficient and qualification for European competition. That is ridiculous. That one manager can have that higher percentage, 75% of the silverware a club has won, under one manager. Even Alex Ferguson at Man United, that percentage is not that high. And Shankly at Liverpool, it's not that high. Wenger at Arsenal, it's not at 75% of all silverware obtained that is classed as a major trophy. If you take the Football Alliance trophy out, that's even a higher percentage is won with one guy at the helm. That is ridiculous. And I don't think that stat is repeated at any other club, quite frankly, when you get to double figures. So there we go. Just imagine if some of those FA Cup semi-finals and finals they got to, especially even under the Brian Clough era, imagine if some of those other finals and semi-finals were turned to wins and those semi-finals becomes final appearances because they've got a lot of FA Cup and League Cup final appearances in there as well that they didn't win. So they left trophies on the field, so to speak. But there was a very purple patch between 1977 and 1990. So the decade before I was born and the first year I was alive. But they were coming up against a very dominant Liverpool side, a pretty decent Everton side, and a half-decent Aston Villa side in the English league system at that time, because those are the other 3 clubs that had trophies in Europe, including, actually Ipswich as well. There were some pretty good sides playing at the time in English football. And I haven't even mentioned Wimbledon, I haven't mentioned Oxford United and Coventry, some of the other clubs that won silverware at the time. But there were some very dominant clubs, and they were one of them. They really pushed Liverpool all the way in several league runs where they were runners-up several times, several FA Cup finals and semi-finals. They really pushed Liverpool a fair point. They were the big rivals, not Man United. Man United won one FA Cup in the mid-80s under Ron Atkinson. No. This Nottingham Forest side was the second best side in England at the time and one of the best sides in Europe. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave your thoughts below. If I've missed any major facts out or major moments, please obviously mention in the comment section, who was the top goal scorer for Nottingham Forest? Who is their record goal scorer? Who is their record appearance holder? I want to know these facts. Club captains, managerial percentage win rates. These are some of the facts I've left out because the video would be too long. But adding the Football Alliance win in there, Brian Clough has won 75% as manager of the silverware obtained by this football club. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll have some more videos for you very, very soon.